Welcome to the training video for the SFE scorecard. Today we will step you through some of the key components of the scorecard which should give you enough information in order for you to successfully and confidently navigate your way through. Much like other Tableau reports created, the SFE scorecard is intuitive and easy to use and has the look and feel of these other reports to give consistency of visualization. But before we get to the scorecard, let's remind ourselves just what SFE is. Sales force effectiveness is a set of global measures successfully used by a growing number of Coca-Cola bottlers around the world. SFE is made up of efficiency, execution, engagement, and if all of these are driven hard, will lead to significant improvements in our financials. These four elements are represented by 4 scores. Efficiency are represented by the green scores. Execution is calculated as red score. Engagement are your gold scores, and fittingly, financials are represented by black scores, as we strive to ensure our volume and profitability is always in the black. SFE also enables consistency of KPI definitions and measurement across channels, efficiencies across every role and function, ongoing benchmarking of KPIs and best practice sharing, development of our capabilities and competencies, and like previously mentioned, growth in our execution standards and financial returns. Salesforce effectiveness is about effectively and efficiently executing the picture of success for each outlet that we visit and adopting and routinely exercising the fundamentals of the right execution daily program to do so. Connecting this all back to close the loop is where the SFE scorecard comes into play. So let's take a look. Starting with the SFE scorecard overview. You can clearly see the 3 components of SFE broken into green, red and black scores. With the ability to filter from total Australia down to a territory view, the SFE dashboard gives a solid summary of the key metrics. The expectation is that an individual can filter on their own territory, team or state and should be able to clearly articulate why the scores on this page are what they are, and most importantly, what they are planning on doing to grow them. The targets have been set against each metric have been derived from taking global best practice learnings as well as aligning them to our core business strategic objectives. Understanding the metrics is crucial to driving them. For that reason, the definitions of each of the metrics within the scorecard are accessible via the glossary. Please take the time when you're in the scorecard to refresh yourself as to how these metrics are calculated. Let's now take a look at the green scores by navigating to the green score dashboard. To do this, just tap on any of the green score results. Within the green scorecard, you will notice that you have the same filtering functionality as you see across all Tableau reports. At the top of the green scorecard, your results for the 6 SFE green score metrics are highlighted for the period you have selected and then compared to your target and your performance in these measures versus the previous month. Directly beneath this is the graphical representation over a 13-week period of your strike rate, call completion and time in outlet measures compared to the total count of orders. To put this into perspective, in this example there's a spike in call completion, time and outlet and strike rate in week 38 versus week 37, which led to a significant increase in orders versus the previous week and highlights the obvious link between customer service and increases in business performance. Let's move now to the total green score tab by tapping on the green score tab at the top of the screen. On this page you can see a graphical representation of your active outlet base in the top left hand box along with a trended view of this data directly below. Within this graph, you are also able to filter on call completion and time engaged for clarity on the 12-month trend of these measures. If we move to the right-hand side of this dashboard, you're able to filter through strike rate, time engaged, call completion, and online migration. This shows you how you're performing against the target for each of these measures in gold, silver, bronze, and white customers. If we jump over to the green score tab, you have access to a 13-week trend of how your customers are transacting with us from an ordering perspective, which is available down to BDE level. The lower half of this dashboard contains order strike rate information by call type for your team or individual territory and also provides an individualised or team view of the 6 core SFE green metrics for the time period selected. The last of the 4 tabs within the SFE green scorecards is the equipment performance tab. So let's take a closer look at this tab now. On the Equipment Performance tab, you are able to view a list of your outlets and their respective equipment performance against the target. This can be filtered by either net book value or replacement value. Additionally, you can view on the right-hand side of the report the percentage of outlets in your territory with performing equipment and the number of outlets within your territory that have performing equipment. And lastly, on each of the 4 SFE green scorecard tabs, you will notice that 2 black beacons of route customer details and active outlet details. The route customer details beacons provide you with a trended outlet view of all green score measures, filterable by territory. This data provides you and your team the necessary information to plan to achieve your green score measures. The active outlet details beacon is as it states, a list view by outlet of your active outlet base, including MAT and SR for each customer. Let's now take a closer look at our execution or red scores. Every outlet will have a red score based on the level of success of the 3 execution metrics of range, share and activation. These outlet red scores all add up to give a territory score, a DSM territory score, a market manager score and so on, all the way up to give our total business an overall red score for our execution. The groupings of the customers fall into 7 different customer channels. Each of these have their own core, range, share and activation metrics. You can see here that the IC and PNC metric, as well as the different weightings that are attributed to each of these in order to determine the overall red score. With grocery outlets, we have a full set of range, share and activation metrics for independent grocery. However, corporate grocery's red score will only be made up of the activation metrics due to the very limited ability to influence both range and space in these outlets. Outlets that are sitting in the HoReCa channel have a very broad range and include NARTD single serve, fountain, hot beverage and alcohol. Not all the outlets that sit in this segment have a liquor license, and on the flip side, some outlets that do have a liquor license will never have a need for some of the NARTD core range, such as Powerade or Bristol Brothers. We fully understand and acknowledge this. In all cases, especially this one, the importance of growing the red score is the number one priority rather than striving to achieve a red score of 100% in these outlets. Off-premise has a different range than HoReCa, as well as a different activation metric and also a slight difference in the weightings attributed to calculate the red score. And finally, we have the integrated metrics that are a culmination of the HoReCa and off-premise metrics. In such a complex group of customers, the SFE scorecard has made a bold attempt to simplify the core execution metrics to those that will drive the most amount of growth in this segment. If you do need any further information of any of the channel-specific red scores and how to calculate your red score, please contact your local red manager. Now back to the scorecard. To access detailed information on your range, share or activation, tap on the respective range, share or activation circle on the SFE scorecard overview screen. We're going to start by taking a closer look at the range tab. On this tab, you're able to view your range score by territory and channel, total trended range score, the number of outlets you have within each band of range score, and an ascending or descending view of your outlets by their range score. Now let's take a closer look at some of the additional functionality built into this dashboard. On the page located just beneath the SFE icon, you are able to filter by ascending or descending on 4 measures, being outlets, results, versus last month and versus last year. You're also able to see by channel an overview of how each of your channel's red scores are performing. If we start to move down the dashboard, you will notice a trended red score graph on the left hand side of the page that shows you month by month the progress you are making in your red scores. If you hover your cursor or tap and hold your finger on monthly markers, you will be provided with the month's result in comparison to the same time last year. Directly beneath this graph is a column graph highlighting the amount of outlets that sit in each band of range scores. In this example, there are 22,675 outlets with a range score of 1 to 25 and 6,684 outlets nationally with a range score of 76 to 100. If you were to tap on any of these bars, you'd be able to see this represented in the box directly to the right. From here, you'll be able to have an acute understanding of where your range opportunities are and then be able to create plans to grow your range score in these outlets. Also housed in the total range score dashboard is a planning tool which can be accessed by tapping on the tab at the top of the page. Within the range planning tool, you are able to filter by red channel, which will populate the respective core range for that channel along with the customers segmented in that channel within your territory. You're also able to filter by call date, stock status, which includes stockist, at-risk, drop-offs and non-stockists, and by product group from the respective core range aligned to that red channel. To put this into perspective, let's have a look at a 3-pack scenario within the on-premise NARTD red channel. I'll filter down to a BDE that operates in the on-prem channel and then look at the stock status for non-stockists and drop-offs. From here I can drop into the product group and select 600ml Coke, 390ml Coke and 250ml Coke. As you can see, there are opportunities for all of these packs within this BDE's territory, and there are some easier opportunities to close out 3-pack ranging by only needing to rearrange or resell one of the products that have dropped off. If you're planning for your week, you would be able to drop into the call date and select all of the dates for the corresponding week, allowing you then to add tasks into SAM to execute the 3-pack strategy within those outlets.